Hi friends, welcome to another new lecture of Era of Geology. In this lecture, I will teach you the experiment of Miller and Urey. So before starting this lecture, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe this channel and press on the bell icon so that you will get the notification of upcoming important lecture. So let's start. So we all know that Upedin and Halden gave a theory of origin of life, and this theory was life begin from pre-existing non-living organic molecule. So it was actually the theory that was given by Oparin and Halden, and here the organic molecules are actually protein and RNA from where life actually began. Okay, friend, but it was the theory which was actually given by Oparin and Halden, but Oparin and Halden was failed to prove their theory that life can begin from pre-existing non-living organic molecules. They were failed to prove their theory. So, in 1953, in 1953, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey in University of Chicago, they tried to prove the theory of Oparin and Halden that life begins from pre-existing non-living organic molecule. So we can say that in simple words, Harold Urey and Stanley Miller, they tried to prove the theory that life begins from pre-existing non-living organic molecule. Okay, and basically, when life was actually beginning in Earth, the, the atmosphere of primitive Earth was like oxygen was absent that time in primitive Earth. The temperature was very high at that time when life was actually beginning. And also the volcano storms was going on. The volcano storm was going on at that time when life was beginning in primitive Earth. So Stanley Miller and Harold Urey, they thought that if they make a artificial atmosphere of this primitive Earth in the laboratory, and if they prove that life begin from pre-existing non-living organic molecule, so they make I mean to say they made a model so that they can prove that in this artificial primitive Earth atmosphere, life begin from pre-existing non-living organic molecule. So it was their model in which they performed their experiment. Okay, friend. So at first I will explain this model, then I will explain you their experiment. So basically in this model you can see that there is actually stopcock. This is water which is present in this chamber. Heat is given in this chamber, and this is the tunnel. This is one more stopcock, and this is actually a 5-liter flask. There are two tungsten electrode, and here is actually a condenser which is present. This tunnel is going through this condenser. This is a inlet, and this is one more outlet, and basically the cold water is actually entering into this condenser through this inlet, and the warm water actually going through, I mean to say going out from this condenser by the outlet. And basically the tunnel come here, and it is actually the aqueous solution or aqueous medium. So basically it is actually the aqueous medium, and it is one more stopcock. Okay, friend. So it was actually the model of Stanley Miller and Harold Urey to perform their experiment to prove that life begins from pre-existing non-living organic molecule at this artificial primitive Earth atmosphere condition. Okay, so when life was developing in a primitive Earth atmosphere, oxygen was absent, right, friend? So, in the first step of their experiment, they open this stopcock, and they reduce all the oxygen which was actually present in this model, and then they close this stopcock. Okay, so in the first step of this experiment, they open this stopcock, they reduce all the oxygen that was actually present in this model, and then they close this stopcock. It's actually the first step, because when life was beginning in this atmosphere of the primitive earth, the oxygen was actually absent. Okay, in the next step, they use some raw material. The raw materials are actually hydrogen, methane, and ammonia. Okay, friends, so the raw material that Stanley Miller and Harold Urey used, these raw materials are actually hydrogen, methane, and ammonia in the ratio of 2:1:2, and they actually placed this raw material in this 5-liter flask. Okay, friend. In the third step, they provide heat to this chamber. In the third step, they provide heat to this chamber, and in this chamber you can see water is present, and due to the effect of heat, water transforming into vapor, and the vapor is going through this tunnel and reaches to this 5-liter flask. Okay, and you know that when life was beginning in earth, the atmosphere of this primitive earth was like the temperature was very high and the volcanic storms were going on. So they provide electrode, I mean to say tungsten electrode, so that the tungsten electrode provide the lighting and can increase the temperature of 5-liter flask. Okay, friend, so that this condition will meet, the condition will meet with this model. Okay, friend, so basically they provide the tungsten electrode in this 5-liter flask, so that the tungsten electrode provide the I mean to say lighting and can increase the temperature of this 5-liter flask. Okay, and already the hydrogen, methane, and ammonia present in this 5-liter flask. So reaction is going on in this flask, right, friend? And some new compounds are producing in this 5-liter flask, and after that, those compounds which will produce in this 5-liter flask, those compound, these droplets which will which will actually produce in this 5-liter flask, they will go through this condenser. I mean to say they will go through this tunnel, and the tunnel is going through this condenser. So ultimately, this compound will have to go through this condenser, and basically the temperature of this 5-liter flask is so high. So basically, the compound which will produce those droplets which will produce in this 5-liter flask will have very high temperature. So when those compound will go through this tunnel, they will have to go through this condenser also. So basically you can see that the cold water is entering in this condenser. When the high temperature compound will go through this condenser, what will happen is that this cold water will reduce the temperature of this compound that is actually producing in this 5-liter flask. So now the temperature of the compounds that are actually produced in this 5-liter flask already decreased due to the condenser. So after condense, the compounds are going to this aqueous medium. So they actually repeated this experiment for a week or more than a week, and after that the result was very spectacular. In this aqueous medium, they found that amino acids are forming. Amino acid, those amino acids which actually formed are actually alanine, glycine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid. These amino acids are actually forming in this aqueous solution. And basically also some other compound like HCN, cyano, aldehyde, these compounds are also actually forming in this aqueous solution. So the result was very spectacular and very, very good result they got from this experiment. And so from this experiment, you know that amino acid form protein, and basically protein is actually the organic molecule, and basically from protein life can begin. And these are also the other compound and HCN cyanoacetylene, which actually if they fuse with each other they can form purine pyrimidine bases also. So they prove, I need to say, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey ultimately proved that life can begin from the pre-existing non-living organic molecule. So finally, they prove the theory of Halden and Operin that life can begin from the pre-existing non-living organic molecule. The organic molecule which are present in this aqueous medium or the aqueous solution. These are actually amino acid, alanine, glycine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, and also HCN cyanoaldehyde. And basically these are the actually amino acid which will form protein, and you know the RNA also, right friend? So it was actually the experiment of Stanley Miller and Harold Urey that they was trying to see whether life can actually begin from the pre-existing non-living organic molecule, or you can say the chemical molecule. So finally, after performing this experiment, they got the result from the aqueous medium that finally amino acid form, and the amino acid are actually this amino acid, and also those compounds are also formed. So thank you so much friend for watching this lecture till this end. I hope this lecture will help you to understand the experiment of Harold Urey and Stanley Miller. If it will help you, please subscribe this channel and also like this lecture. And also if you have any question regarding this topic, then please do write your question in the comment box. We will answer your comment. Thank you so much.